All right, back for another beer review, and today the beer I'll be reviewing is actually a collaboration beer. This time between Hop Butcher for the World, and they are out of Chicago, Illinois, and Horus Aged Ales, and they are out of Oceanside, California, and this is their Bird of Epic Proportions. So they're calling this one a Talus, Nectaron, and Simcoe-hopped Double IPA. Comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 6 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to Hop Butcher for hooking me up with this one, so big thanks to them. They actually sent me the first box in about 9 months that I've gotten from them. The channel's been on hiatus for over 10 months, so once I was ready to return, they hooked me up with 6 more beers, and I will be reviewing them over the next pretty much 4 to 6 weeks. So this one is a collaboration. Now, when it comes to Horus Aged Ales, I know them from like their big crazy like pastry stouts and whatnot. I have never really heard about any of their hop forward offerings, so I'd be interested to see what this one has to offer. On the bottom of the can it says, "What the word? Big Bird." Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Talus is a hop that a lot of my UK beer tubing friends have really liked. Nectaron, I actually had a couple beers from Hop Butcher that I didn't review on the channel was after my hiatus started, but I did review them, or not review them, I drank them off camera. And Nectaron's a kind of a crazy hop, and then obviously Simcoe's an old school hop. Now, I'm not gonna look at the tasting notes on this one. I used to do that all the time with Hop Butcher beers, but I'm not gonna do it this time just because I wanna kind of go into this one blind, just see what we got going on with Talus. Never had it before, but they do have the tasting notes on the back, and I do not look at them anymore, ever again. No, just until the end anyway. So let's crack it open, done. Let's pour it into the hashtag proper glassware. There we go. I really like Hop Butcher glasses. They are fantastic. So, yeah, that's not super hazy. It has a decent amount of haze to it, though. Has this really like dulled out orange color. I don't know how it's gonna come off on camera, probably a bit darker. Has about a 2.5, 3 finger of this really compact, tightly compact bubbled type of look to it. Just looks super creamy. It's off-white. That looks beautiful. That looks like a beautiful beer, to be honest with you. Let's get a nose. Oh, what is that? That smells like straight, like peach juice, like peach nectarine, kind of like almost like mango, like tons of stone fruit on the nose, like sweet. Oh, wow. So that just completely changed. The first nose for me was like lots of peach and nectarine and mango, and then right after that, straight on orange juice. So it went from a huge stone fruit vibe to basically just OJ. Yeah, there's this like underlying kind of like dank, almost like earthy quality. It smells like it's gonna be delicious, honestly. It's making my mouth water. And it's been so long since I've had Hop Butcher Haze, and I've missed it. I mean, the last one I think I drank was earlier this year, like in January. So we're talking like 8 months of no Hop Butcher beers. For someone who has been drinking Hop Butcher for the last 1.5 years because Hop Butcher's awesome and they're kind enough to send stuff to me, I've missed it. And the reason is of noses like this where it just smells fantastic. Yeah, so a lot of stone fruit, a lot of citrus. Right there, I just went back. I got like a lime kind of thing going on. So I would say more of like citrus, juice, zest, but then to the stone fruit side of things, like the peach, the mango, the nectarine, stuff like that. And then like an underlying earthy, slight dank kind of bitterness to it. Yeah, it smells fantastic. Let's get into it. Thanks again, Hop Butcher. Cheers. Wow. Was not prepared for that at all. Holy shit, that finish is wild. Body on this one, 8%. Most of their double IPAs that you get from Hop Butcher are 7.5, so this is a half point up, a little bit higher. The body on this one's like medium, like straight on medium, which is fine. Mouthfeel, it's soft, it's creamy, but it has a little bit more carbonation than I'm accustomed to with Hop Butcher beers. The one thing Hop Butcher does like 80% of the time with their hop forward beers, especially double IPAs, their body and mouthfeel is usually like medium, higher side of medium, and then just all the soft, smooth creaminess you ever wanted. This has some aspects of that, but it has a little bit more of like an old school kind of like crisp, kind of effervescent kind of like take on it too, for the mouthfeel anyway. Taste right up front, sweet stone fruit, peach, mango, maybe even like an unripened like honeydew melon hits me right at the forefront. Passes through the palate, mid-palate, that sweet stone fruit kind of thing going on is completely just annihilated by this wave of like citrusy zest, like a lot of like the peel, the zest, everything, like the rind. There's a real pithy component to this one, real zesty from the citrus aspect. And it's lemon, lime, it's orange, it's pretty much, name a citrus fruit, it's basically there. And then it dries out on the back. This is like a pretty dry beer, and it has like a straight on like moderate bitterness, which again, I wasn't expecting from the nose. This was leaning all like just juice, gonna be super smooth, a little bit sweeter. That is not the case in the taste. It has a nice balance though. It still leans a little bit more to like the bitter kind of dry side of things for my palate, but I like that because it was such a surprise right up front. That sweetness, you're like, oh man, you know, and then it sets you up for a 180, and you're hit with that zesty citrus component. You're hit with that real big dryness and bitterness. I will say I'm getting a little bit of booze on the back of the palate, very, very small. Like if I was doing this blind, I would guess as a double IPA, I'd probably say like around 8%. But it's not deterring me from the beer. It's just nowadays we're so spoiled that when I get a 7.5%, 8% beer and it drinks like 7.5%, 8% beer from an alcohol standpoint, I'm just kind of like, wow, that's weird. That's different. You don't usually see that anymore. Really good. I think this is kind of in the realm of like an old school meets new school kind of double IPA. I think you have enough of that like juicy stone fruit thing going on. And then you have like the zesty, more bittering type of aspect to the finish. And, you know, again, this is moderately bitter for me. It's pretty dry. The one thing I did not get in the taste, but now I'm getting it as it sits on my palate, a little bit of like this earthy, almost like, it's going to sound bad, but like an earthy, dirty kind of like underlying kind of quality to the beer. It's nice. It's breaking up the monotony of all the fruit. But yeah, I mean, this did a 180 from the aroma to the taste, and not in a bad way, just in a different way. So I'm really digging this one. I like the combination aspect. It's like a West Coast IPA meets a New England IPA or double IPA, and it drinks extremely well. So Bird of epic proportions, a collab between Hop Butcher and Horus. I am going to give that a high 4 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.1 out of 5. For me, I think I would like it a little less dry. And I like the bitterness, but the dryness I think is a little bit too much for me. I've mentioned this plenty of times on my channel in the past, but I'm not a huge fan of like really dry beers, and this is like moderate to like severely dry on the back of the palate. So like right now as I'm talking, my tongue is just devoid of all saliva. It makes me want to go back for more. Problem is, after about 5 seconds, that dryness is there and it just keeps building. So I would like a little bit more of a little bit more sweet, a little less of a dry finish, and I think this would be like a 4.25. Really cool though, cool collaboration. Oh yeah, tasting notes. Citrus zest, unmistakable for me. Like I'm not, again, I did not read the tasting notes on this. I will say citrus zest being the first thing that I see. Well, I'm reading, you can read it however. Totally makes sense. Jammy stone fruit. See, I wouldn't say jammy stone fruit, but I was telling you I was getting stone fruit and whatnot, but I wouldn't necessarily say jammy. Juicy stone fruit, sure. Ripe raspberry. There's, for me, absolutely no raspberry in this taste. Huge tangerine right there, like this citrus complexity of this beer is kind of bonkers, honestly. Like from tangerine to orange to lemon to lime. I didn't really mention grapefruit. I could see somebody pulling it out of here, but yeah. Yeah, 4.1, I'm going to stick with that. Price and availability. Price on this one, I believe their double IPs are like $15.99 a 4-pack, so $16 a 4-pack. Damn good price point. And availability, Hop Butcher, that's the one thing about taking a hiatus. Hop Butcher is starting to show up in a lot of different places. So it used to be, you know, in the Chicago area. Now you can find them in a lot of weird spots. So I guess this would be a little bit of a exercise, but if you're watching this review and you've gotten your hands on Hop Butcher in your area locally, post in comments and let me know. I'd love to hear where Hop Butcher is showing up, because I know a couple places like, a friend of mine and fellow beer tuber Tyler over at South 10 Beer Reviews, I believe got some in his neck of the woods, like in northern Georgia. I know some online shops like craftshack.com have come in contact with them. So I know even there's some spots in like Pennsylvania that Hop Butcher's showing up in. So yeah, I'd be curious to know about their availability, but it seems like it's getting a lot better. So yeah, anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Like I said, if you've had this one or you know about the availability, post in the comments. Let me know. It'd be great to hear from you. Till the next one. Cheers.